Hello guys, NautoAis here, and I'm gonna give my impression of the Mighty Morphin Power Ranger once and always. And oh boy, when I watch this, yeah, if you're a Power Ranger fan, you're gonna enjoy it, especially if you prefer the original season. Oh boy, there's a lot of reference. The actors, they're doing a good job. And the story itself, like I said, it's a bit towards like teen to adult, and I kind of get it. So I did give my thoughts about the trailer on my secondary channel. Links is on the description box. So for this one's going to be my channel because I'm going to give my impression, give a score, and then I'm going to give some spoiler of what's going on and why the XYZ is happening. Once and Always is celebrating the 30th anniversary of the Power Rangers series, and like I said before, August of 2023 will be the actual 30th anniversary. And for this movie, you might say, does it something to do with Cosmic Fury? To some extent, maybe. Like I said, that's going to be on the spoiler part. So the main focus for this one are Billy, Zack, and Trini's daughter, Min. And the story behind it is that, well, if you saw the trailer, Trini protected Billy because Robo Rita was about to, well, kill him. And then that's all the story what happened. And then to some extent, when Min found out, let's just say, well, she wants some revenge. It's sort of a cliche, yes, but it kind of fits in this story here. So they found out that Robo Rita somehow came back, and I'll explain on the spoiler part. And now the premise is that she's trying to get as many Rangers as she can in order to do a time portal, and that's on the synopsis, and try and tell her past self to change the history, and that's what the premise is. So the story was is that they dealt something that's never been dealt before. That's why they're having a hard time, and putties were actually going all over the city, different Power Ranger famous city, and trying to gather as many Power Rangers, and that's the story. And it's up to Billy, Zack, to stop Robo Rita. Later part of the movie is that, of course, you got Snizzard and the Minotaur. Now they're like cyborg robot form. And they captured Jason, Kimberly, and Tommy. And yes, to some extent, they are in the movie, but their voice. So this is kind of like resemblance with Super Sentai, which some of the Sentai actors, they're just there to lend their voice. Kind of makes sense. So I don't know, either they use pre-recording voice, maybe they did some recording, or they just use past voice from the previous episode and they were captured. But they call it the Bandora Protocol, which of course, if you don't know Bandora, that's Rita Repulsa's Japanese name, the original from Shu Ranger. And they're calling all Rangers who are available, and of course, Cat and Rocky. And believe it or not, also the best part about this one is that character development. So they actually sort of explain what happened to them and what were they doing after Power Ranger. So Rocky now is a fireman. Catherine is a mom. My guess is married to Tommy, and that's why they have a kid named JJ. From my understanding, that's from the Boom comics. So again, maybe it's canon, maybe not, who knows. And then Zack was a former congressman, but stepped down so he can take care of men. And then Billy Cranston created his own sort of industry called Cranston Industries, sort of a la Iron Man, Tony Stark of the Power Ranger world. So again, hey, if it works, it works. So the reason there's a lot of this, like technology is happening, the command base, the buggy, which remember in the original series, there was a flying buggy. So there's like version 2. So that's basically Cranston Industry property. And then again, Billy's like sort of like a Tony Stark. So some might say, oh, how come they got their powers back, or how come they're using different power? Remember, Rocky used Thunder power. Cat actually used Ninjetti. So this is the first time they actually used Dino power. Of course, if you saw a clip of the trailer on Netflix, they created some copy power. They duplicated the power and they gave it to them, and it works. Yeah, they are sort of changing the rule because Zack, if you notice, is basically OG, following the rule that what Zordon told him since 1993. And that now they're saying, hey, look, things have changed. A lot of stories was happening. and the rules just have been changed, so that's why. So finally, yes, to some extent, Cat and Rocky are now Dino powered Mighty Morphin Power Ranger. Even the morph is beautiful. And I'll explain about the visual and the story. So that's part of it. And then of course, can't really like not talk about the Megazord battle. So of course, oh my gosh. And I can say, I know it's CG, but you say, oh man, it's not as good as like a movie. Well, it's not supposed to. It's a Netflix. You gotta keep that in mind. And if you try to compare it with Super Sentai when they do their CG robots, you kind of see sort of somewhere in the middle. But the battle was actually good. And then, yeah, the story in itself, even the conclusion, I have to say that there was a part in the very end when, of course, it's sort of a minor spoiler, but it's kind of like, yeah, it had it coming. Yeah, Ben is the new Yellow Ranger. And, of course, they stopped Rita. I mean, well, yeah, because it's Power Ranger. And then the best part here, and this one actually, like I said, touched my heart, is that they showed a past clip where all of them, including Tommy, Jason, Trini, Billy, Zack, Kimberly, and Tommy were in the juice bar. And they were gathering around. And then they focused on Trini and Tommy. Kind of made my heart like, oh, man. I know it sucks that they passed away. Basically, the story, I like it. I like what it is. It makes a lot of reference to past Power Ranger. There's some sort of cameos. I mean, not people cameo, but there are some cameos. And of course, SPA. So yes, a lot of people did say that SPA is Space Patrol Alpha, that in 2025 is going to be Space Patrol Delta. So again, it's kind of like something like, kind of makes sense even with the logo. So I'm going to give this one is, I'm going to say yes. I have to give it a 9 out of 10. You'll go, wait. Should it be 10? It's a Power Rangers. It's a good movie. It's toward the fans. It's toward to the dedicated who are a fan of Mighty Morphin Power Ranger. Yes, it is. But there are still some sort of like, why XYZ is happening. I mean, why Robo Rita to some extent. And then 55 minutes for a movie. I mean, yeah, you probably could something. It kind of built, for me, it kind of felt like it's a bit rushed. I mean, especially with trying to develop Min's character. It's like, oh my gosh, Trini, I want revenge. And then eventually we know it's going to be that she's going to become the Yellow Ranger, but it's like sort of to some extent a bit fast. So it's near perfect, but I do enjoy it. Would I watch it again? Yes. Would I watch it with my fellow Power Ranger fans? Definitely to some extent. But yeah, so 9 out of 10, good story, good character development. Like a lot of the characters had actually new big character development, especially Billy, which again, the rumor is that Billy's going to be in Cosmic Fury. There's going to be a connection there. And a lot of this, why now it's happening with Dino Fury, it sort of kind of makes sense. And I'm going to talk about that in the spoiler section. Like I said, the downside is it's a bit rushed, 55 minutes, could have been longer. Maybe, but to some extent, it depends of how the story goes. You don't want to drag it, but you don't want to rush it. So I kind of felt to some extent it was just a bit rushed. But everything, like if you love the OG Power Ranger, definitely watch this one to be on Netflix. So it shows the respect, especially doing the tribute with Tui Trang and Jason David Frank. I like that was a beautiful part there. And to some extent, it is towards like older kids. I know Netflix said it was TY7, which is kind of concerning. To some extent, I think this is going to be sort of a TY14 to some extent. Just saying, sort of early teens to adult who grew up watching Power Rangers. So that's why it's a 9 out of 10. Near perfect. Again, it's not cheesy. It's not like Saban style, but of course he has his own rule. Gotta give props to the showrunner, Simon Bennett, the director. Awesome. So that's what's a 9 out of 10. So that is my impression on Mighty Morphin Power Ranger once and always. So next time, I'm going to talk about spoiler discussion and theories of why this is happening and could it be connected with Dino Fury and Cosmic Fury. So stay tuned for that.